Hey, what's up? What's going on? Hashtag missing DC girls. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, share it. And we're going to be talking about Southern Charm, Season 4, Episode 1. We're going to get into Thomas. Thomas is just got through playing some game on a horse. It reminded me of people chasing down slaves and cops chasing down black people on horses and with the rope or whatever. But anyways, Thomas says to the young lady says to Thomas, you need to have somebody walk the horse because he needs to be walked or whatever. And so Thomas is like, wop king, wop king, wop king. And so the young lady goes, I don't think that's his name. His name is Joaquin. And Thomas has a look on his face as though he doesn't care if he has his name right or wrong. But since the cameras are there, he pronounces his name correctly. So, and then Thomas goes on about how he is a blue blood. And he goes, you're a blue blood too as well. And, blue blood means noble birth. Thomas thinks he's from a noble lineage. And there's nothing about you, noble Thomas. You've been arrested. You've been in jail for all types of convictions. You lost being the governor, having kids out of wedlock, all that good stuff. There's nothing noble about you. Alleged drug use. So then Thomas says to the young lady, Thomas says in his confessional that his family's been in Charleston, South Carolina since the 1600s, basically. And her family's been there since maybe the 1700s or whatever. And so he's like, we are just noble. And Charleston, South Carolina, basically just saying that, hey, we have owned slaves. And then Thomas is too much. And then Thomas, as any chance that he gets, he is throwing Catherine under the bus. I mean, like, that is your child's mother. You chose to be with her. You chose to have children with her. And you said you wanted a boy and a girl. You wanted a pair and you got it. And it's just like, you are just going in on her every chance you get. That it's not even cool. Like, oh, Catherine hasn't seen the kids in months and she can't see the kids unless she passed a drug test. What about you take a drug test, Thomas? Let's see you take one, because at the pool party you look like you was on more than just alcohol, and we already know you like to drink. So anyways, too much. And then the beginning of the episode starts with Thomas bringing a rose to London, almost asking her out or telling her that they're going to be together and let the public know or whatever. And it's like, wow, Catherine was right, because she felt like London was coming after her man and she wanted to put a stop to it. And it was true. It was definitely true. Not to mention, after London confessed her love to Shep, and he totally ignored her and avoided her. And, London is like, I can't believe Shep won't say anything about it. He just totally ignored me. That's just like the Southern thing, to sweep it under the rug, of course. So it's just like, OMG. So let's get into Shep. Shep is like, this whole episode has just been going in on Craig. Like, he is really pissed at Craig for having him sit there in the office with him, fill out this paperwork, and Craig is saying, should I use a glue stick or should I use Velcro to put his picture on the application to apply for the bar exam and everything? And then Shepard's like, you know what, I'll drive you to mail the envelope, basically. And we know that was all a lie. It's not true, because Craig did not even graduate from law school because he didn't finish his thesis and he didn't do his pro bono work, basically. So, Shep is like really mad about it, because Shep is like, I gave you a second chance and you came down here and you lied, because the first chance was like, Craig was partying too much, he was drinking too much, he wasn't working, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And Shep is upset. I don't know why Shep is upset, why he's so upset. Like, he won't let it go. No one's talking about Craig. Only person talking about Craig and his negativity and his lies are you, Shep. You're not letting it go. That is the fraternity in you. So it's just like, OMG, every chance Shep can get, he throws Craig under the bus. Just like when when it was at the pool party and Craig goes after Shep goes after Craig's girlfriend Naomi to talk to Naomi about Shep. It's too funny. Shep is like, oh, so I heard, that, Craig is very talented. He's doing wonderful things. He's becoming a carpenter. He's a gardener. I think he should be a cook. You know what I mean? Because he's throwing shots because he knows that Shep made a cookbook, basically, or whatever, or baked a key long pie from scratch when he was a young kid or whatever. So Shep is like, I think Craig is talented and everything. Maybe he should do that, because I don't really think he wants to be a lawyer anymore. Because does he still have the knowledge or the power to be a lawyer anymore? Can he still remember anything? And he was like, and so Shep was like, we sat down and we mailed this application. Where did that application go to? I wonder, is that application still waiting to be sent somewhere? And Shep is like, it's been 3 years. How does this dude still wants to be a lawyer? He doesn't want to be a lawyer. And basically Shep is saying, like, he's not real. He's not human. He, like, friends share things, their ups and their downs. They don't lie like, Craig has. And he's just like, he's just too through. He was like, it's unhuman. Shep calls Craig unhuman. OMG. And he just sits down Naomi and just ambush her to talk about Craig. And he was like, I would love to talk to Craig, but everything is superficial. We can't get down to the real shit, the real stuff. And he was like, it's just like Craig is just avoiding me every chance that he gets. He doesn't want to talk to me. It's just like, I can't believe he sit there and had me in that office fill out that application, and he didn't even finish law school. Like, come on, like, how that dude gonna play me like that? So basically Shep's storyline is to discredit Craig any chance he get. And Shep is like, it's just horrible how he is. Basically he's just terrible, and he's fake, basically. And he's telling Naomi this, and he's just like, where did everything go? The application is sent somewhere to be mailed. And he's just like, Craig is just too much, basically. And then so it's like every conversation that Shep has it's about Craig. So when Shep meets up with Cameron at the store, he's talking about he was like, oh, I was chilling out with my buddy Austin, Blase the third. And then Cameron says, hey, is that your new buddy or whatever? And then Shep goes, Cameron goes, is that your replacement for Craig? And Shep goes, no, anybody can replace Craig. He said any animal, anything can replace. He said a cadaver can replace Craig. And he was like, yo, so he was like, he's not gonna be an attorney or whatever. Like, that's bullshit. He's over there so now he's woodworking. He's a gardener now. So it's just like every chance he gets, he's talking about Craig, just throwing him under the bus. He was like, and then Shep is like, Craig is not like his family. His family are all jocks. They're big guys, and they're jocks or whatever. And and what Craig does is make key lime pie from scratch and make cookbooks. And basically, he's nothing like his family. He has he doesn't identify with his family at all. And so so Shep is like, Craig came to Charleston. and saw us, like the crew, and was like, I want to be just like them. I want to be a part of them. I'm more like them. And so Shep is like, that's why he wears his hair up, he wears his collar up, the gel, his pastel clothes. He doesn't know who he wants to be. He wants to be like us, but he's not one of us, basically. So it's just like, Shep, leave Craig alone. Craig is just trying to get in where he fit in, basically. And then Shep says to Naomi, you're the best thing that ever happened to him. Don't leave him. You got him a place to stay. He ain't working. He ain't doing shit. And Cameron's running around town and everybody's business. I mean, everybody's business. And Craig, you was wrong for what you did. Craig was wrong when he talked to Catherine on the phone, and Catherine was like, hey, I'm back, from rehab or whatever. And so, Craig is in the car with his girlfriend. He's going to pick up London and everything like that. And so, Catherine is like, I'm keeping her low key. I'm being low key or whatever. I'm keeping everything close to the vest. And, and Naomi's like, hey, what's up? It's good to hear from you. I would love to hang out with you, blah, blah, blah. And so they hang up the phone. And so Naomi says that I'm not going to say anything about Catherine calling or speaking to Catherine. I'm going to keep that to myself because it's nobody's business. And then, Craig is like, well, I feel we're kind of being fake because we're going to London's house right now or whatever. And so Naomi was like, no, you're not. It was like, we can be friends with both of them or whatever. So as soon as Craig gets into London's house, the first thing he says is, guess who I just got off the phone with? Catherine. And so London is like, Catherine? Oh, Catherine, she's no good. You know what? Isn't she in rehab or somewhere? And you know what? She chose the most expensive, the most notorious rehab to go to because she wants to pick up another sugar daddy, another victim that she can rob and take money from. And also, who goes across the country far away from their kids when they can't visit their kids or see their kids? What kind of person does that? And so, Craig is sitting in the chair laughing like, he had his mouth closed just laughing because he knew that it was going to happen because London hates Catherine. And we know why, because she wants Thomas. So anyways, it's just like, I'm going backwards, but this is shit just too funny. And so, Craig is in his confessionals, and Craig says the reason why they don't get along is because Catherine felt like, Thomas and London was having an emotional type of relationship, and that's the worst type of relationship you can have. And Catherine was trying to block that because she saw it coming, basically. And, it's just too funny. But London is dating. She's dating a young guy that he's basically the cutest guy on this show. His name is Drew. He's 25 years old. And she's 35. You go, girl. So anyways, basically everyone's been traveling and haven't spoken to each other. And London, she doesn't want to really go out in public. She doesn't want to be around people because she feels like everyone's judging her because of the rumors from last season that she was sleeping with Thomas. And she was like, your name is all you have in Charleston, and if it's ruined, it's like a scarlet letter. And that's why she traveled the whole summer. She wasn't trying to be around because she's afraid of what people might say. So anyways, it's just too much. And then you have Thomas starts off with his spill of Catherine not seeing the kids. Thomas throws this up. Oh, last year, Catherine kept the kids from me or whatever. But this year I got the kids and I got them 24 hours a day basically. But he does have a nanny, and Thomas is like, she tried to keep me away from my kids. Now I have them all the time, and she hasn't seen them because she has a drug problem and she's in rehab. And the court has ordered her not to see the kids until she passes a drug test. So therefore, I'm the full-time daddy, and my kids live in the guest house because I don't want them in my main house because my main house is expensive. And little kids spit up and make messes, and they ruin things. And I'd rather them spit up in the guest house on the $200 rug instead of spit up on my $30,000 rug. Kids are just messy. They're too much. So anyways, Thomas, you have been a total dick so far in this first episode. So, And it's like, okay, he making sure he's thrown her under the bus. She did do him wrong by trying to keep the kids from him last season, but he's going in on her. Any chance he's get, he is throwing Catherine under the bus to any and everybody, even to her cousins, her family, friends, anybody that comes upon. He's talking about Catherine. So it's just like, okay. And then we also start the episode off where, Cameron, she's talking to Shep on the phone. Shep is driving around Charleston trying to find out where he left his credit card at. So he's going to bar to bar to find out where his credit card is at or whatever. And so Shep is still up to the same thing, partying, chilling. But we get introduced to Austin. Austin's 29 years old. He is a spokesperson for representing beer or alcohol. So basically, he goes out and he gets people to drink and try different beers, like the people used to do in the clubs, come in with the cigarettes and stuff like that for you to buy Camel cigarettes or this cigarettes or whatever. Basically, he's doing that with beer and liquor, and he loves it because he loves to drink, and so he's always drunk. And he's tall, and him and Shep kind of have a lot in common or whatever. But what they don't have in common is Austin has a job, and Austin's parents are upset with Austin because he doesn't have a decent job. Oh, Austin is the consultant for an alcohol dispute or whatever. So his parents sit down with Austin, was like, when are you gonna get a real job? And no, when are you gonna take care of yourself? He goes, I am taking care of myself. I am responsible for myself. And then the father goes, we're not talking about hand to mouth. We're not talking about paycheck to paycheck, motherfucker. And Austin is like, I'm 29. I'm young. Babe, you're fucking old. And if you're old, I'm ancient. So, at 29, your parents have a point or whatever. But you'll do good because your parents have money. So then, Austin says that he did have a girlfriend. She wanted to get married, so he dropped her. So basically, Austin is Shep's new buddy or whatever. And Shep is hanging out with him like he used to hang out with Craig. And Austin works or whatever. But I don't know if Austin is wealthy like Shep is and the rest of them are. But basically, Craig and Catherine are like the black sheeps of the group or whatever. So that's why they do get along so well. That's why they do stick up for each other. And they possibly may have made out or whatever. But Shep is throwing so many shots at Craig, saying that he couldn't get pussy if it fell in front of his face. He says that if there was a girl around, he'll be worried about Austin taking a girl and not Shep and not Craig. I mean, he's just going in on Craig. And then you also have Patricia and Whitney. They're going in on on Catherine. They were like, Whitney was like, I was traveling or whatever, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful when I was traveling. But you know what? I chose not to drink. I'm just going to smoke weed, him and his buddy, whatever. I wonder where is Whitney's girlfriend at. So anyways, Whitney is like, so we just smoke weed or whatever. And then Patricia, which is Whitney's mother, is like, oh, that's so terrible. Drugs are bad for you. You can lose your job. You can lose your family. Like the person we know, Catherine. Patricia does not like Catherine at all. So anyways, and Patricia is waiting on Whitney to have some grandbabies. That's why she keeps knitting pictures of her dog, taking pictures and having parties for her dog, and also reading her dog's horoscope and all that good stuff, because she's waiting on Whitney to make her a grandmother. And Whitney's not about to. Maybe I might be surprised. But anyways, so it's like everyone's throwing shots. People calling up, talking about Catherine. Oh, rehab this, rehab that, doing drugs this, doing drugs that. It's just like, oh my God. Catherine, you better come in and you better wreck these people, because they are going in on you, talking about you. I'm glad you are back, and I hope you are sober. And then, Patricia goes, Whitney, you remember Uncle such and such? Remember he worked for the FBI? He was in charge of this big firm, and he started smoking that, she said, reefer, And now he works at Blockbusters. He ended up working at Blockbusters, but we know Blockbusters is closed down. Or did Nick Cannon open up Blockbusters? I don't know. So anyways, no, Nick Cannon opened up Radio Shack. So, Whitney's like, I don't want to hear this lecture. I'm good, And then their butler comes in, gives them their drinks. They're feeling good. It's just like cool. It's like whatever. Then Cameron goes to check up on the beginning of the episode. Cameron goes to check up on Craig to see how he's doing. Craig is showing that he's became a gardener, a professional gardener. It's beautiful, and he also became a carpenter. He's remodeling the inside of the house. So he's learned everything from the internet, and he tells Cameron that he wants to go back to school, and he wrote his thesis, he did his pro bono work. He'll go back to school in February, while his girlfriend Naomi is in school now, so they don't really have that much time. And so Cameron's like, do you really want to be a lawyer? Are you serious? Are you telling the truth? And he's like, yeah. So Cameron is like the grandmother of the group. Like, she's checking on everybody, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. They're not partying too much. They're not drinking too much. And if they are, she's going to tell them about it. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, she's going to tell them about it. If she doesn't like something they do, she's going to tell them about it. And she's going to question them. She's not going to talk behind their back. She goes right up to them and talk to them. That's what I do like about Cameron. But Cameron is so busy in everybody else's business because her husband's never around. I think her husband's a doctor, and he's never filming any. He filmed like maybe 2 episodes with her, I can count. And he wants her to have a baby, and she doesn't want to have a baby. She was like, I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to do it. She was like, I love my life. I think she's a real estate agent or whatever, and her business going well, and she doesn't want to be bothered with any kids. She don't even want a dog, basically. Remember when Cameron and Shep was dog hunting? So anyways, basically none of the gang has been hanging out with each other at all. They all been traveling. Like, London's been traveling, Shep's been traveling. Craig has been busy becoming a gardener and a carpenter. And London's been traveling as well. Thomas has been doing Catherine wrong, but you know that Thomas is going to win any type of case against Catherine because he used to be the governor of Charleston, Carolina, of South Carolina, of Charleston. And his family are all political people, and everybody he knows is political people. He knows all the judges, the lawyers, the policemen. So, Catherine doesn't have a chance against him. He was like, she pulled the stunt last season, and he's like, nah, this ain't going down. It's just like they are just going in on each other. It's just like too much. And Craig is still with this thing that he's going back to school. And then, when Shep meets up with Cameron in the clothing store, which I already talked about some of the parts of it, he goes, well, is Craig making any money from woodworking? And that's basically what Shep separates them to. Like, he has money and Craig doesn't. And it's just like, he's really downing Craig. Is he really that mad at Craig? My God. No one is even talking about Craig as much as you are. My goodness. One thing about this show that's really not a storyline. They just drink, party, do what the hell they want to do, basically. And say little fucked up comments about race here and there. Mr. Thomas. And they sleep, they party, they have a good time. Basically, I think Cameron's the only one that has a job out of the whole gang. And Austin's new to the gang, so Cameron is the only one that has a job. London's still trying to find herself. She said she had such a bad year last year because she poured her heart out to Shep, and Shep is not feeling her. He don't want nothing to do with her. She's like, I love you. Now she loves Thomas. And she had a business idea, a business proposal, and it didn't go so well because she brought a piece of paper, and it was like, what the fuck is this piece of paper? We're talking about bullet points. We're talking about, like, what is the motto? You don't have any motto. Like, show me something other than this piece of paper you wrote. So basically, it is what it is. They're going in on Catherine. Catherine did do some dirt, but wow, these guys are really going in on her, and it's like, And Patricia talking about Catherine. Patricia's gonna eat this up. She's eating this up. So is Whitney. He's eating this up. Basically, they're like, whatever. And Shep is just doing what he does. Basically, he's just chilling, handling his business. And Whitney, we'll see what Whitney's gonna bring. What Whitney's gonna do. Are we gonna see Whitney's girlfriend? Is he gonna have a new girlfriend? What's going on? Are we gonna hear some music from you, Whitney? What's good? Patricia, you gonna throw any more parties and uninvite people? Craig, are you gonna take the exam? Are you gonna let these people keep talking about you? Are you gonna confront Shep? Because he ambushed your girl. Talk mad junk about you. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But all in all, for the first episode, it was a good episode. And but London went in on Catherine about going to Malibu to meet another rich victim so she can take advantage of. And London is serious. London, I don't know. London seems like she's on medication or she's high, allegedly. I don't know. But London doesn't seem like she's all the way there. But her new boo, he's all the way there. And then, so basically these guys haven't seen each other for a long time, for the whole summer. So they all meet up at the party, at the pool party. I forgot who's doing the pool party. So they all meet up at the pool party as Catherine doesn't show up. But Catherine's cousin shows up with her ass hanging out, talking bad about Catherine to Thomas. Basically, Thomas in the pool asking the women to show their boobs. He's all over the place. He's loud and obnoxious as he is. But during the day, he's professional. And he wears all white and bright colors. Because he doesn't get them dirty because his kids are in the guest house. So anyways, so they all meet up at the pool party. It's Craig, it's Naomi, it's Shep, it's Cameron, London, Thomas, Whitney shows up. Only person that is missing, and the rest of the other people, I don't really know their name, but they be around. I do know their name, but right now I can't regurgitate it. So London boo comes or whatever, and Thomas is jealous. Thomas is calling her from the pool with his females, like, hey. So Thomas jumps off the pool, get introduced to this young dude or whatever, and Thomas says something that was really smart about this young dude, about his body or something. Anyways, could we have like letters written under when Thomas talks? Because sometimes I can understand him and sometimes I can't. So we can have letters. I forgot what they're called too. Cause it's 3:23 in the morning and I'm still up. So anyways, Thomas he jumps off the pool, he runs up to London trying to see what's good with her or whatever, and he's like, I don't like London like that. We just friends. In his confessionals, she's a great person to be around. She's wonderful. Basically, I love to be in her company. And so he makes sure his presence is known and he's flexing his body, whatever. Thomas is so conceited because he does have a lot of young chicks around him because he has money, basically. And he spends it. So Thomas has two broads under his arm. He sees Whitney, and then Thomas is like, oh, she's 24 or 25. Today's her birthday, so we'll see what happens. I hope Catherine comes in and let these people know. She needs to come in and take care of business. Anyways, I was all over the place with this review because I didn't want to go in order. I just wanted to talk about the things that I felt that I wanted to talk about. So peace, subscribe, like my video, share it. #MissingDC Girls. Peace.